All right. Good afternoon or good evening. It's still a little early. So, this is Hurricane H. You are on the iHealth channel, iHealth Radio. And, the last couple of weeks or few weeks have been crazy, and we've had few shows, and we always refer to the status that we're in and the situation that everybody is home. And, I did some shows about keeping positive and things like that. Today, actually, we're going to have a session, a talk show, which is the broker world, and we're going to talk about the pressures and the way we can do certain things while we actually under the lockdown. And one of the things, from a business perspective, a lot of people are concerned because how do we go about getting back into the swing of things? How we can leverage the time that we have, while we are home today and still be productive and make our business flourish. And with that, I have with me a guest today, Jay Rosero, and he's actually a guru of networking and leveraging some channels, and he's going to share with us his magic formula today, or at least how we can make it work, and again some just functionality of things that we might or might not know about, and some I guess tips on how to really make it still within the lockdown and leverage the time and get some success whatever time we have still to stay home, because again we don't know when we're going back, and when we do want to be ready for it, but in the meantime, can we still do things? Can we make it happen? I think we can. And we'll start with Jay. And Jay, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we can go into some of the key questions and people that may have.
Well, hey, what's up, everybody? I hope everybody listening to this is doing very, very well, and I hope they're trying to really find ways to keep themselves busy, especially right now. I know that everybody's locked in. Everybody's saying, "Oh God, when is this going to be over?" Everyone's saying, "Okay, so is the peak coming this week, the next week, or the next month? What's this phase 1 to phase 3 they got going on in the country right now?" I mean, and look, at the end of the day, I think we can all agree that the worst thing you can do is doing nothing. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I mean, at the end of the day, I really truly believe that we have to think expansion in everything that we do. And just like Rockefeller said, when everybody's contracting, when there's blood on the streets, is when it's time to invest. It's time to push forward. Every time there's a recession, there's definitely people who come out and do even better than before. So hey, just a little bit about myself. My name's Jay. Um, Everybody calls me the Madman because I'm definitely a character. And one thing that really brought me into this industry was the fact about 10 years ago when I realized that the internet and internet marketing was going to be such a dominator and such a powerful tool in how the way businesses do business. You see, growing up, I mean, I grew up in an entrepreneur family. My dad was he owned his own thing, and I saw him always going to meetings, always going, man, I'm going to this meeting, I'm getting on this phone call, I'm doing all this stuff. And me as a little kid, I always thought, why do you do that? Because you got a phone, you got a computer. I see you sending a fax back in the day when fax were used. And then when I saw YouTube come out, when I saw how powerful it was to get on Google, was when I realized, okay, there's some serious potential. There's a lot of money in this. I think. I really think in the future there's definitely going to be something that people need in this, and I can't tell what it is. But I won't like to say that I'm growing up just yet. But I can really say that I as I got older, as I saw opportunity arise, as I saw how the world was working, I really thought, okay, things are really going to start to transition, and this is going to be so important. So I'm a computer nerd. I geek out on this stuff, and I get really really excited about it. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to come on this radio show, this talk show, this podcast, just to tell everybody what they can do right now, how they can still use the tools that they have at their very house to excel, to even do better than before. That when the marketplace opens, they will be in there, and they'll be ahead of the whole game, because a lot of people are sleeping right now and some people are going out of business completely. They're not coming back, but you can still have a fighting chance of completely dominating, 10xing everything that you've done last year and this year.
And Jay, you're right. I mean, that's a big question. I mean, a lot of people are concerned, and a lot of people are actually wondering what's going to happen. How can they come out of this one still in the positive? How can they leverage the time and just kind of continue with the connection, continue working, and even companies, I would say, even like corporations, are still scrambling. Nobody's got it figured out yet, and I think everybody is trying their best, and there are the best brains out there are trying to figure it out. To your point, the world that is safe right now is the cyber world. I mean, being on the internet is the place where you're not gonna get corona. That's for sure. I don't know. You might get a virus from your computer, but you're not gonna get that particular one, right? But the idea is. It is a world that's been in progress. I mean, I just booming and booming over. I mean, we've seen a lot of trends in the internet since the inception of internet. We've seen the .coms era, and now we see all these platforms and then the social media and all that. And there's a way to leverage all those, and some companies actually taking advantage of this and really blasting it out and doing a lot more with it. And but from networking, from business, from people that may not have been exposed to it, or at least not close to it, and they still did traditional business, this could be the opportunity. So whether you're a broker, you're an agent, you're an entrepreneur, you're someone that is affected, a small business owner, how do you do this, and using the internet and the tools that are available. So Jay, you're going to tell us a little bit more about that. But before that, I had one question for you, and that is so how is the lockdown affecting, the actual networking in the health space specifically now?
Well, in the health space, back in the good days, just a couple months ago, I actually went to a health networking convention. Nice. Where it was great. I met some public health giants in the industry, some physicians that were really trying to excel their practice, and it was a beautiful thing, I mean, we even hired entertainment to be there. There was food, there was drinks, there was a relaxed environment, because when people get together and they start getting social, it's when they start getting a little nervous. You're like, oh my God, can I just go up there and shake their hand? Look, everybody hates a networking event, but at the same time, everybody needs the networking event. It's a love-hate relationship. But the thing is, that was such a powerful tool. And me personally, owning an internet marketing company, I mean, I love to cold call. I love calling people all day, and they say, you know what, I'm fine. I get by with word of mouth. I get by with networking. Click. And then that's where I go, oh man, what happens if that's all taken away from them? How are they going to 10x? And now it's all taken away from them. Those same people call me and go, okay, hey, wait, we spoke a little while ago. Tell me a little bit more about that one thing. Like if I was involved in a pyramid scheme or something, tell me about the thing,
Those things, huh?
Hey, I love network marketing. But no. So
well, it has its place, and it's got some giants, and there are people that love that thing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. MLM, I love MLM, but so I mean. The thing is that now that people can't do that, and even before people did that, it's good to just get on networks like LinkedIn, Facebook, and LinkedIn is such a viable tool. They really blitzscaled that tool. Like the book said, one of the co-founders of LinkedIn wrote a book called Blitzscaling, showing how he really took LinkedIn from 0 to over 1 million users in such a short amount of time. But the true beauty about that was the fact that you as a salesperson, you as a business owner, you can find other business owners by titles, connect with them, establish joint ventures, establish partnerships, sell product. You know how much money is made off of LinkedIn that LinkedIn can't even count? Because it's there for people to meet, and then people take it off the phone, change the environment a little. Next thing you know, they're closing big time deals. This is how acquisitions are made. This is how mergers are made.
Oh, I can relate to that. I mean, I've done quite a few transactions just off LinkedIn and connections, and and met a lot of people through LinkedIn, and it turned out to be profitable eventually. So I can relate to that. And whether it's employment opportunity, whether it's business opportunity, whether it's partnership, networking, it opens a lot of doors. So, and you and I had this conversation. A lot of folks, when LinkedIn begun, they didn't see the value of it as much as they did, for example, Facebook.
It was a job board.
Yeah, yeah. So they're like, well, it's not a social. It's just business. It's too formal stuff. But it found its space and it found its own niche. Now everybody wants to be in, and if you want to be in business, you want to be in LinkedIn. And this is not an endorsement to LinkedIn, but it is a fact. At least on from my perspective.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's so necessary now, and especially if you have a sales force that's constantly doing outreach. You're on your cold marketing campaign, and you want to really warm up, those prospects. Those big fish that people are hitting. You got to keep in contact through different points. A lot of times your guy can't get through the gatekeeper. The email goes to the spam folder. But on LinkedIn, you guys can connect.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, you sometimes you do get a lot. Of emails and connection and messages on LinkedIn, and you do send some. Sometimes you get a response, but it's better than any other response rate you can do with a campaign or any other approach. People do see value in at least entertain. And what I do personally, when someone sends me an intro, I actually say, okay, let me see what you have, and send me something. We'll do a 15-minute call. And if there is any, chemistry there, we can move to the next level. That's all. I think a lot of people do that, and it could be more.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Right. So when you and I spoke, the first time, we talked about the life insurance and leads in the life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. So look, when it comes to your industry, you got to know who your prospect is. I like to think of the internet, the World Wide Web, as an ocean, a big pool. There's a lot of fish in the sea, right? Now,
Right.
Here's the thing. You, as a business owner, as a salesperson, somebody just trying to do some business, or as a life insurance salesman especially, you got to know that, okay, well, you're probably not going to want to prospect on TikTok. You're probably not going to want to prospect on Instagram. YouTube's not even a prospecting tool, that much of it. Although it's powerful, it's good for inbounds. But, you got to know where your people are. LinkedIn is definitely where the older crowd is. LinkedIn definitely has the biggest organic reach. Every time you post a status, more people can see it rather than on your Facebook, because Facebook will show you what you like, but LinkedIn will show you what's there, what's just been posted right now. With that being said, if you had 15,000 connections and you post a status, more people are going to see that than if you had 15,000 friends on Facebook. Some people are going to see that, but now the true beauty behind LinkedIn is just the fact that since it's made to prospect, it's made to go out and connect to people. What you can do as a life insurance salesman is find your target market. So your older people, you're definitely older people. What are their jobs? What do they do? If they do this, they will probably have a median income of this, an average income of this. They could definitely more than likely afford your service, your policy. So you can go look for everybody who works for that company, everybody with this position, connect, personalized invite. Next thing you know, hey, every insurance salesman knows this. It's a numbers game. Just go out, reach out, get your pipeline filled up, and just smash the phone. Smash it, destroy it. Like go back to the T-Mobile, get a new one, smash it.
Well, in a life insurance, that's obviously an easy, concept. A lot of sales you can do that. There are some sales that have restrictions in terms of cold calling and things like that. But to your point, industries, at large, they can get away with telemarketing type, and or at least have reach. And this is more. It's not just and determined call. I mean, you can still reach out and connect, and then get some sort of a vibe, some sort of a response, and then take it from there. So do you have a little bit more positive than just a spam call? You know what I mean? Now, as far as non-essential businesses, what kinds of internet marketing strategies do you recommend?
Well, I mean, non-essential businesses are kind of broad, I mean, but it really depends where your target market is, right? I mean, coming to think about it, say, a plastic surgeon, of course, they want to go ahead and market on Instagram. You got millions of people trying to be models, and then what's throw something at me, like what kind of non-essential business do you think what would be the example here?
Oh, I mean, for me, I think everything is essential. In a way.
Everything is essential.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a word that we use, non-essential. I mean, especially these days with like non-essentials. But I mean, what's a non-essential? I mean, there's like life and death type situation. Frontline. In the medical space and stuff like that. But I mean, to me, there are services that you might that's not a mandatory to have. It's not necessary like you have to deal with. You know what I mean? You can live without, and there are services that you can't. I mean, you obviously have to eat, sleep somewhere. You have medical, but there's a lot of other services that are like wants. Like to your point, you just said cosmetic surgery. I'd love to have something fixed, right? But do I have to have it? That's the thing. So the sell on that is a little harder. So you have to find your market for that segment, and who is actually, whether price-wise, whether it's the age group, whether there are a lot of things that can determine, right? So those are the things, and that varies from one product to the other, from one operation to the other, and it depends on people's needs. So again, essential to me is defined by what people see for themselves as essential. Some people may think literally that doing a cosmetic surgery is we're not picking on cosmetic surgery here, but if that was the case, that will be something that that's essential to them. Someone may say, I look good, I don't need anything, right? So, and sometimes people will be looking good and they still want to do something because they're not comfortable with, and that's just an example, but it could be other things. I mean, do I need to have a specific service in my house that I get, water delivery? Okay. Is that really an essential, business? I mean, water is essential, but I mean, we all have water home. We can buy, our own bottles, from Costco or BJ's. But there is a delivery service, and you can have your own water, fountain at home. So, but that's a business too that is operating these machines and delivering water, and again, from a business perspective, how do they get clients? Now, tragedies and stuff like today, does actually dictate some of the businesses may just flourish because of that. And again, the delivery service now is booming more than ever. No one actually wants to get out. Everybody's ordered to stay home. And now we're doing a lot more in getting everybody. I mean, Amazon was great. And now they're like, doing 10 times, I don't know, 100 times more the influx that they did, a few months back or even a few weeks back. So everything is changing, and I think transportation is going to change. Now, some industries are being affected big time, but there's an adjustment. So I don't know if I answered that point about the essential, non-essential, but again, I think it's a perspective as to what is essential versus not. But at the end of the day, networking is still networking. Each business should, I guess, find their actual marketplace or market group or audience that they need to target, and I've covered that actually in a different sales chapter, and but the idea is you got to find your business market and audience and work towards them no matter what your products are.
Exactly.
So now you believe in LinkedIn. Right. So what would be something unique that some people may have LinkedIn but they're not using right now?
There's so much, honestly. I mean, but one thing that I would really say is so powerful about LinkedIn that a lot of people aren't using. Besides the ability to connect, right? Because I mean, other social platforms, they won't let you connect to just anybody, and they have way too tight of a limit. You can connect to maximum on Instagram, You could follow maximum maybe about 20 people a day only. You can message maybe about 30, 50 people a day only, right? And there's so much limitation on Facebook. You can't even you can't even friend request somebody unless there's a logical reason why you would friend request them. Are they in your same vicinity? Do you guys have a mutual friend? Do you guys work at a place like that? I mean, if not, then they won't let you do it. I mean, me personally, I don't have a Facebook because they banned me off of Facebook. Like, they banned my face off of Facebook. I applied 12 times for Facebook. They still won't let me have a Facebook because I was testing. Okay, I was testing this automator, this bot that posted in 150 different groups. Me, digital marketer, testing bots and testing limits, and I did it on my own profile. It screwed me over. Whatever. The point.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a lesson for everybody else that's listening. Don't do it.
Yeah, 100%. Always test things. I love testing things. I love it, love it, love it. But look, LinkedIn, the power of endorsement. That's insane. An endorsement is a testimonial. It's a good review. I mean, if for example, in my industry, right? In the service-based industry, if you have 100 endorsements to a certain skill that you have that your company specializes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you go out and meet somebody new, they're gonna think of you as an authority immediately. Wow, look at all the endorsements this guy has. All these people that knew him says that he is highly skilled at this one thing. So now, okay, that lowers their action threshold. That lowers their trust threshold. Now they're like, okay, well, this is a testimonial, and that's one of the biggest cognitive biases that Charlie Munger said. It's just the bandwagoning effect. That bias is one of the biggest selling points in marketing. Testimonials. I almost bought a cologne off an ad that I saw on Instagram. I almost bought a cologne. I would never buy a cologne unless I smelled it, but the ad was just testimonials. It was just people going, wow, oh my God, my girlfriend loves this one cologne. She couldn't keep herself off of me. She loved the smell. And I was like, oh, wow, really? It's what? And I was right there about to go into the cart. And then I go, wait a second. I haven't even smelled this thing. I'm just going off of word of mouth right now. But
it's powerful.
It's powerful. If I saw it one more time, I swear I would have bought it.
Well, I mean, word of mouth. I mean, it's the old way of doing, and in sales, it's the biggest, your best friend, because that's where you treat your customers right, and they talk to everybody that they know, and it's just a chain reaction, and you get all the business that you can get from there. I've had
a compensation plan to that.
Yeah, I've had sales reps that succeeded much, just because they do the right thing by their customers, and they stick with them, they treat them the best. And everyone, they don't even have to work. They work smart. They get in calls every day. They get referrals every day. And again, it's powerful. But again, testimonials, everything. Now that can ruin you too. There's a double-edged sword there, right? If you don't do right, you'll get, kicked out quickly because people will just drop you fast, faster than you can imagine. You can actually do a lot of time in good and do a lot of good in a long time. Yet you do one bad thing and it shuts you down quicker than you think. So again, we have to be careful on how we approach these sales tactics and doing our marketing. And yes, we do need to build our networks. And again, LinkedIn is a good place. Now, I know that in the current status, and the businesses are kind of working remotely, all the after-hour business that we used to do, and all these, we used to do a lot of those ourselves in my world, where you were finishing meetings, you gather with other people. That's when you get together, dinner, whatever, drinks, and then at that point you're mingling, networking, So business after hours, they have business breakfast, they have business after hours, and usually the after hours do better. And then you'll get a lot more. Even recruiting events, when you're recruiting events for sales groups and agents, those work. I mean, people come, they love to have a nice little happy hour, drink, eat, whatever. And then you just chat and deals are being built that way and cut that way. But now, that's at least temporarily, we don't know how it's going to be, and I don't know if it's going to be the same. So this platform, I mean, it's funny. We did an actual worldwide event yesterday on Zoom for a specific holiday, and there was a big audience from all over the world, and it was a Zoom event with panelists, and they shared stuff, and that's now maybe the new way of doing things. So there is a lot of business people on LinkedIn. And I mean, whether you want a job, you have a job, you're looking, especially now, again, we're talking about unemployment rates dropping, increasing crazy, and a lot of people are looking for opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities opening in LinkedIn, and different companies looking for different, talent. This could be a good place. Maybe Zoom is one way. I mean, I think Messenger now came up with their own Zoom version, where you do stuff. So there's a lot of ways that you can do today to connect with other people and share ideas and maybe cut deals. I mean, virtually you can do it. I mean, you don't have to physically be in front of someone in a room. I mean, we used to watch. I made a joke the other day about it on one of the shows. That is like, maybe we'll start using holograms. I mean, this is as close to a hologram you can get. I mean, you basically are projecting yourself, and now we have 2 people on this screen, and we can have literally 100 people if we want to. And everybody's experiencing this in the last few months, and a few weeks rather. Everybody's been doing it, and I think that's going to be the wave. I mean, there's got to be more technology that's going to develop that's going to help this, further. But again, but you do need to have the source of the contacts, because that's where the hardest part is. Before, you used to have white pages. You just go on customers, and you had yellow pages. Now you have everything in Google. You got to look at things, and you have to have networks. LinkedIn is one of the biggest places. Although Facebook is also used. Some people know how to use Facebook for business, and it has components. And again, while I am not a big user of I used to be, but there are groups that you can develop. There are pages you can develop on Facebook, and there are people that do follow these things. And groups actually sometimes attract a lot of people. And it's interactive, and you can do a lot of business. So between social media, there's a lot of opportunity for sales, lead generation, and networking and business deals. And again, one of the oldest ways of actually doing networking was those. I mean, some people did golf, some people did different outings and picnics and things like that, and they did all that, and especially at the executive levels. That was the traditional way to make deals at a highest level. Now that's going to change as well. So again, a lot of people are going to find these, I guess, platforms and social networks that will actually develop themselves, in terms of a good place to find your match. And I'm not talking about your match in lifestyle. I'm talking match in business and business needs. So I mean. There's a lot. I mean, and Jake, can you tell us more about now what is something that you've done in LinkedIn specifically that helped you in your service stuff?
Well, I mean, me personally, in seeing the potential. See, I'll tell you a story real quick about why I actually got into LinkedIn and why I'm actually praising it to this day. I sound like such a diehard fan, but it wasn't always like that, because back in the day I thought, man, LinkedIn is so dry, it's so boring. I mean, I would much rather go and and just network, go out and live, live my goal, go out and live. That's what the word goal stands for. I don't want to be tied down to just LinkedIn. It's so boring, and I really hated it. But until one day I got on it. I didn't know how to use it that much. And then a multi-level marketer actually reached out to me, right? But I didn't know. You know how this whole thing is. They invite you and go, hey, you want to meet at the coffee? You want to go grab a cup of coffee? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's go out, let's network. Yeah. Let me meet you at Panera Bread, right?
Good place.
Yeah, great. I love the food there. But see, when I got there, I was like, hey, man, so you want any type of orange juice, you want a bagel or something? And he goes, no, I don't actually want anything. Actually, just let's have a seat. And I was like, okay. So, he sat down and he talked to me a little bit about himself, and then he asked me about myself. At the end of the day, the one thing that I got out of that whole meeting was the fact that he was booked back to back to back to back. He was like, okay, look, man, I only got 15 minutes in here. I got to tell you real quick about this opportunity with Legal Shield. Okay, Legal
Oh,
Shield.
Legal Shield. Been there, done that.
Yeah. And so, he sucked me into one of those things because I was like, wait, so if anybody disputes a card, I have a lawyer to go to? He goes, yeah, definitely, man. And not only that, and I was just like, oh, so where's the paper? Sign me up. So I went ahead and signed up to Legal Shield. I didn't even know what it was. I just knew I had a lawyer sometime. I didn't know how to use it, whatever. But, basically, from there, I went home and he told me, first of all, he told me this. He told me, look, Jay, just work on your LinkedIn. You will get so much more business than you can handle if you master LinkedIn. Because then everybody looking for your service will find you. You sound like an awesome guy. Your SEO skills are insane. Your social media skills are insane. Like I wanna introduce you to some people. And he actually provided a lot of value. He introduced me to some key players, so it wasn't like a complete waste of time. You know what I mean? And I got signed up to Legal Shield. I don't do it, or I'm not part of it anymore. But hey, I mean, it was cool. It was cool. But I mean, when I saw the potential of LinkedIn and how that guy was so booked, I thought, you know what? There has to be something here that I could do. So, long story short, me personally, I started a lab in Brazil for Instagram marketing. Here's where I owned about 10,000 Instagram accounts on farms of computers, right? So it was crazy, bro. Like I had like this whole setup of like all these accounts, and they were like all interacting. They were taking actions. They were posting. They were commenting. They were liking, and it was a great marketing standpoint because I would get like hundreds of thousands of people looking at a marketing campaign for so cheap. And then Instagram completely screwed me. Instagram was like, okay, look, we can't allow nobody to take more than like 20 actions a day, and that completely screwed the operation. So I was like,
Well, all the social media had originally you could have used them any way you wanted. Ultimately, they've gotten savvier and a lot more stricter. And even now, I mean, Facebook is a lot more strict than they ever been. And all the other channels, even YouTube, has been a lot more stricter in terms of what their rules are and what can be posted. And so, I mean, ultimately, it's evolving, and it evolved already. And but there are platforms coming up every day. And there are ways you can do these things in a more strategic way. Now, when you said you had these labs, that did this, so this is automated. You just basically designed them and worked them.
Yeah, I got like 20 computers and like 50 cell phones to just take actions all day. So that because people in the B2C world, they see the value in connecting on Instagram because I mean, they get more customers, more awareness, more their sales funnels more packed that way. And that's how people used to do business on Instagram before. Now everyone does ads, which I love ads, but
But it costs
how
more.
we did it. Well, yeah, they cost a little more. It's a lot less grind work though. But at the end of the day, when I saw what I did on Instagram, how it works for people, what I did was I fine-tuned it. I just brought it over to LinkedIn because then I realized, okay, look, what I did was I got my sales force, right? My people that were hungry to make some sales. I went ahead and me and Wallace, which is an engineer I work with over there in Brazil, and Spyro. I honestly can't pronounce his name, right? He has a long Greek name. He likes to keep it traditional. I just call him Spyro.
Okay.
we banded together. We made this program called the LinkedIn Search and Sell program, which what it does is it grabs your prospects. It grabs people you would need to be connected to, crafts a personalized message to each and every one of these people coming from you, connects you to them as you sleep, endorses them as you sleep, follows them, interacts with them, right? So it's basically, it does the initial connection, it does the follow-up. Now all the salesperson has to do is they have to close the deal. They have to say, okay, are you interested? Can you make a decision? Okay, let's take action, you know? AIDA. You know what I mean? Just like in the movie with I forgot you seen that movie? The one where it's like AIDA. You don't
All right, it doesn't ring a bell.
oh my god, it was such a great movie. I forgot what the name was.
Who was in
Very
it?
long.
Doesn't.
Well, it's an old movie. I mean, the actor is some famous actor. I don't know. All I remember was that the scene was brutal. The scene was brutal, and he was just describing sales, you know. But um,
I think I know which one, but I can't place it.
something
I've
about some
we've used it in the training one time, but
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that thing is always be closing. That thing, yeah. So you know, it just automatically
Man, okay.
connects
Now
them
you got
to
me
that.
thinking about the movie.
I haven't seen the movie. I just saw that one scene, you know. But that one scene, I mean, dude, it had me by the balls, bro. I was like, oh my god, if that guy screamed at me like that, oh my god, I don't know what I would do. But
Well, yeah. I mean, it happens. Success is not easy. You gotta, you gotta stay on point, and you gotta keep pounding on the team. So on your formula with what do you call it again?
the
The
LinkedIn
LinkedIn.
search and sell program.
So now that is an actual service or something that you actually right now operate.
Yes,
And
yes,
so for people that are interested in connecting faster and I guess getting more traction with potential prospect business partners on LinkedIn, the recommendation is to use that particular system. And so is there a cost to it? I mean, is it per contact? Is it a membership? How does it work?
yeah, of course, of course. So I mean, I had two options. When it came to making this program, either I could make this um very very cheap, or I could make this valuable, right? Because hey, at the end of the day, I want to make sure that everybody sees value and everybody gets profitable from this. Everybody closes a deal. It's very hard to not close a deal when you're connecting to 1,000 people a week. At that point, if you don't connect with at least one person that
Nothing's
can
wrong.
do good for your business, I mean, then yeah, then something strange. But so here's how it works, right? Um, and just if you're listening to this right now, um, then I want to offer you a special deal just for you, just for the viewers of iHealth Radio, because you guys are so awesome. And Hurricane H, he's the hurricane, bro. That guy, I gotta give it back to the man. He's powerful. He's a hustler, definitely like-minded, and somebody that I really look up to, with a true heart of gold. Honestly, I can say that from just the moment I met him. But this service, I offer it for $225 a month, right? But for everybody watching this, I want to give you guys a really, really, really good deal. For just $100, I could put you on this system to reach out to over 100 people a day, up to 1,000 people a week in connections for you to become profitable. So as you are sleeping, you are reaching out to prospects all throughout the night. You're endorsing them all throughout the day, following even more throughout midday. You're reaching past gatekeepers. You're speaking to influencers, directors, CEOs, CMOs, the people that really make an influence on the decision, you know? And we scrape the list, we cut the fat out of it, and then who you're talking to is who you want to be talking to. So it completely speeds up the process of everything that you're doing.
So this bypasses basically you going conventionally one person at a time, and and so it's just a faster way of, to your point, making contacts and reaching out to everybody that you'd like to, based on your interest. So let's say someone wants to join or become, I guess, a member here. What's the process? Do they have to enroll somewhere? Is there any survey that they have to submit? How does that work? Because for our audience, at least the sales industry, in the health industry, brokers, always looking for opportunities to connect and generate opportunities. So in the Medicare, or healthcare sales, you want to connect with providers, you want to connect with pharmacists, you want to connect with community organizations, faith-based organizations. All those are usually places where you want to actually connect to make your impact and hopefully get access to, and or you can be also to just pure individuals that will be ultimately your customers. So what would be the steps for someone to actually get the benefit from the service?
So first of all, for somebody to go ahead and sign up, all you got to do is go to www.thinkexpansion.com. Right there.
That's not hard to remember, right?
Think not Expansion. Hard to remember. I said it from the beginning. Right. Thinkexpansion.com. Go to the bottom, fill out the form, or call the number on the screen, 954-649-0760. Ask for Jay. I'll take care of you personally. Ask you all the questions, get you set up right then and there. It's a really simple process, but it's something that's very personalized. You have to speak to somebody over the phone for it, right? When we speak to someone on the phone, we just grab their information. Yes, we do have to ask for your login credentials. We put you on a private server, and so it's completely confidential. Nobody sees your stuff except for whoever's working with you at the moment. And then we ask you, okay, so who are your prospects? What are your goals? Who do you need to reach out to? What's your dream buyer like? And then we find them. We ask you for a message for you to give to, a general message for us to work around. And then we personalize it so it mentions names inside, it mentions titles or whatever it may be per person. And then we just whip it out there, right? Now, say that you get in and, you're I wouldn't say a beginner salesperson, but you're so new to prospecting online. When you're talking to a person, they can hear your voice inflections, but when you're online, you don't want to write something and sound strange. You don't want them to take things the wrong way, right? And then here's where we actually have a script builder where usually for $600, we write you a script. We write, okay, so from the top of the line, from the introduction message to the qualifying questions, down to the presentation, past the close, what are the objections? What are the rebuttals? What are the loops? Constructing loops and everything. The most important things on a script for you to close and just completely take people down the straight line. For the viewers here at iHealth Radio, there's a $200 discount, making that $600 to $400 for this script builder. So altogether, for just $500, which is half, more than half, 75% off on a typical marketing campaign, which would usually cost you $2,000, minimum $1,000, to get your name out there and really connect to that level of prospects. We're giving you a sales script, rebuttals, connections. We're giving you the leads all the way down to the funnel. All you have to do is put the pen in their hand and ask them to sign.
So so this is monthly, but the script is actually a one-time deal. And then every month you continue with the actual subscription or whatever you refer to it?
Yeah, the script is a one-time deal. Unless they want some fine-tuning. They want to make a new script for a whole new service that they're coming out with, because a lot of businesses are doing that right now. Gyms are now going to online classes.
Uh-huh.
There's so much people doing that right now, and hey, yeah, it's completely possible. And in that case, we'll adjust something that we could do for them in that case.
Now, ultimately, LinkedIn is worldwide, and so is your service limited to only the U.S., or it doesn't matter, it's whoever reaches out? And the reason I say that, because the radio is actually broadcasting internationally. and people like to do, I guess, deals across, continents, and especially now people may not be traveling as much, so they can travel via LinkedIn and via other, cyberspace measures. I just wanted to ask that question because for those that are listening, from an international, platform or space, this is available to everyone. So it is a way. Again, advertising does cost. Anyone that's in marketing world and sales would know that it's not easy. If you're in business and you want to promote your business, is not cheap. I mean, you can boost a small post, on Facebook, and it can cost you a lot. Now, technical question: would LinkedIn have any issues with the process as in the platform themselves?
Well, in comparison to other, there's services out there that are automatic. What we do is more manual. It's more manual.
So it's not robotic.
No, it's not robotic. There's typing going on. There's clicking going on. There's imperfect perfections, as I'd like to say, right? Because when it comes to using automation tools, I have seen LinkedIn accounts just vanish, yet completely banned because their movements were robotic and the system detected that. I saw that right from the get-go, and I made things more manual, where it's more like people are working for them, or salespeople are working for salespeople, rather than just a robot just doing everything.
Again, the reason I'm asking is someone wants the service, but ultimately they're going to invest, and they don't want to make their investment not be working for them. If something gets shut down, they're not going to be able to get the outcome that they've paid for. So
Yeah.
just to make sure that people are aware of what that is. So there you have it. I mean, it is a way to reach out to people. It is a unique. It is a very innovative. It's not the robo stuff and robo spam and all the other stuff. It's kind of, I would call it a hybrid maybe. It's a robot with a personal touch, so maybe a cyborg.
Something like that. This is like sales 2.0.
Yeah. So it does have merits, and again, the cost doesn't seem to be very far-fetched in terms of what it is for achieving. Ultimately, any campaign is only as good as the follow-up and the connections that you actually leverage. And to your point earlier, Jay, if you do connect with someone, you want to get something out of it, even if it's one thing. I always say, if you get from any conversation, including this whole show, one thing that is valuable, that's one thing you didn't have before, and that adds up to your arsenal and ammo. So again, there are ways, and in the current environment, I mean, we do need to be creative, because you want to reach out, you want to be able to make contacts, you want to be able to leverage business opportunities for those of us that are in the sales world. And doesn't matter actually whether in healthcare sales or any other sales. It can be medical, can be in technology, whatever. It's reaching out, and it's very tough because you can reach out. I can tell you this personally. I reach out to people as well, and sometimes they don't respond to you. Sometimes they're not seeing your messages. It may take weeks, months before they even see it. Or some people are not just as active on LinkedIn, or any other platforms either. So it's a volume thing. As you said earlier, it's a number game. The more you reach out in that environment, the more you're gonna get hits, and ultimately that's when you make your contacts. And some people are just reluctant in responding, but certainly if the message is personalized and it has its own merits, and it's people are going to reach back, and then it's your job to actually take it from there. The baton is yours, and what you do with it will be really your gain or loss. I mean, you can certainly flank it and not do anything with it, and it will be just like your campaign. Now I can tell you this: you can spend millions on campaigns on DirecTV and other things, and the ratios and the yields can be very low. So this is a small cost, and it's a service that may work for as long as it exists. It's a service that can be good. So again, I don't endorse anybody, but certainly I want to bring the opportunity to people as to what services are available to them. And for those of us that are in the sales and always looking for lead generation opportunities, this is another venue that may be possible. And again, like LinkedIn is a good place. There are a lot of, everybody is actually on LinkedIn. I mean, corporations in general, whether they, and even for jobs, if you're just looking to get hired, you can use that as if you're looking to hire, same thing. If you have an agency and you want to find customers or rather agents, this is a good place. It's not live, it's not health, it's anyone that has the opportunity. So again, that's just my take on what this is. Jay, anything you want to add to us today?
Well, hey, the only thing that I want to add to everybody right now, right? Especially in the health industry, I have a lot of family who actually work in health and in medicine. So my heart goes out to those people. At one point, I actually got my first degree in biology, in hopes of being a physician's assistant. So definitely, my heart goes out to these people, to everybody listening that is on the front line right now fighting against the virus. Hey, thank you for your service. And for everybody that listened that was in the industry in general, I want to tell you guys this. The only thing to fear is fear itself. As long as we keep pressing forward, as long as we stick to our guns and adapt to the new world that might come by, because look, right now, as there is no cure, as there is no vaccine, all we got to do is adjust. So as long as we adjust, as long as we pivot right now before things become too late, and hey, this pivot is a beautiful pivot, and it doesn't have to go away if, say, things go back to quote unquote normal. This will be only another form of income, another form of another benchmark for future business, if you will. So hey, everybody, keep faith, keep pushing forward. We'll all get through this. We're all gonna make it.
So, Jake, would you please repeat? I know it's you've mentioned the number as well as the website. Can you just repeat that for us?
So the website, www.thinkexpansion.com, or call or text 954-649-0760 and ask for Jay. I'll take care of you personally.
All right. So, Jay, thank you for joining us today and for sharing your insights and your services. And I hope that those of us out there always looking for a new way of kind of outreaching and networking, this could be something of value. And again, it's not limited to health. It can be any industry, anybody that wants to kind of find a new way of promoting their business and services. So that being said, thank you for watching today's show. This is the iHealth channel and iHealth Radio. Hurricane H here. Again, to resonate and just relate the same message that Jay just mentioned. For all the health frontline workers that are actually facing the pandemic, one-on-one and taking, their lives in their hands on a day-to-day basis. And, with all the stress that comes with it and bringing it home, and it's just crazy days. Let's hope that it's all, past us in the next couple of days, or in a couple of days, at least a couple of weeks. It's going to take, weeks and weeks before it's all over, and we might, eventually get back to where we are and we were before. And so, again, thank you for all of those, frontline workers, everybody, logistics, transportation, essential workers, that as they define them, stores and food industries and the delivery services, and of course the medical staff, all the clinicians, doctors, nurses, pharmacists, anybody that is out there, clinicians, technicians that are helping. Thank you for all the good, service again from the iHealth channel and iHealth Radio, and we'll be talking soon at a different show again. Thank you for watching, and have a great night, and we'll talk soon. Bye bye.